We are going to cover breakpoints, and what we want to do is halt the execution of this little app on the details page so we can check out the calculation down here. So we are going to do this in the controller because that is where it is calling the method that does the actual calculation. And it is in the post details action method. So we got to find our detail action method, wherever that is. There it is. And here is where it's calling calc BMI. So to add a breakpoint, you have to be on an executable line of code, which this is. And actually, I want it right below the calculation, because if I have it stop here, it wouldn't have done the calculation yet. So I need to go one line below. And I will be able to access values in autos or local. And I should be able to see what is in the stat model. And so I'm going to go ahead and rerun this now that I've got the breakpoint in here. All right, so here's my little app. And we're going to go into member statistics. Now, if I go into any of these other commands, it's going to run normally. Okay, it's only when I go into member statistics that that breakpoint is going to execute. Let me move this. And it's going to execute when I choose details. So now the execution is halted, and you can see because there's that little yellow arrow inside the breakpoint. And we're going to take a look at autos. So autos is showing me stats, which is my model. Okay, so I can see the height and the weight and the date and all of that fun stuff. And then it's also showing me the current object, which is this. And you can see you've got your context here. So there is a lot of data in auto. I actually, including the BMI, which is up here, I actually prefer locals. Just because if I wanted to check on the relationship, you can see that it has ID and then it has ID under stats. So this ID is in the member table. And the member and the stats table have a relationship. It's a one-to-many. So I can actually kind of check those values here as well. And I can also look at this, which gives me all sorts of information. Now, what if I don't want to go into the auto to see the view bag value? I can actually add it to a watch. Now, you can only add it to the watch when you are on the breakpoint, when it's halted. And then you simply click on whatever item you want to watch and you key it in. So I keyed in viewbag.bmi, and because it's running, I can actually see the value. And if I wanted to watch, maybe values that were in my view, Okay, I can actually go over to the details view and I can add watches here as well. Um, but I need to add the breakpoints, and you can only add breakpoints on executable code. And that would be the code that is Razor code. Okay, that's your executable code here. So if I want to see maybe what's in here, and let's see, maybe just display their name. Okay, I should be able to do that. And then I can come over here and I can key in model.members.name. And then when I run it, it should work. So let me close and we will run this again. All right, so here it is. And let's go into member statistics. And let's go into details. Now it's going to hit our first breakpoint, which, if you remember, is in our controller. So to get past this, oop, let me widen this up. All right, we can step over, step into, or step out. The difference. Step into will do one line of code. Step over will do one line of code at a time, except for called methods. And step out just executes everything else. Since we're at the bottom of our action method, it's honestly not going to matter which one I pick. Okay, and then I'll just click it again, and now it's over in the view. And let's go ahead and move forward. We'll step over. Let's keep stepping over. And now we can see the view. And then if we want to do it again, we just hit restart. And it restarts the app so we can do it again. Now it does not like our watch value in our view. And we're halted on the, let's see, step out. So let's do something with this. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Model needed to be capitalized. There we go. All right, let's do something different down on this one. And let's not do the name. We'll do age. So these are case sensitive, so you should be aware of that. And let's see, model.members.age. Let me make sure. Members doesn't have age. It's in stats, I believe. Let's check. Models. Pretty sure it's in stats. Here it is, age. Model. Yep, that should be okay. Now it's saying it's not accessible, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to view that one. Let's see. Well, it is pulling in stats. So actually, I should be able to just do model.age. There. Okay, so that did fix the problems. So at this point, after much effort, I've got my watch values, and the cool part here is that I can kind of cycle through this. And maybe pick somebody else and see different values. Okay, so it's showing me the BMI that I have a watch on. And now we're in our view, and it's pulled in the name. And you can see it's already got the age. And then if I go over to locals, if I wanted more information, I could get it. I'm going to go ahead and step out, which kind of should run me through everything here. And let's pick another one. Hopefully, it's being finicky here. Okay, waiting for local hosts. So and I'm basically telling it to run. Here, why don't we restart this? So we're going to pick Daphne here. Okay, and then we need to continue because right now it is stopped in the controller. And I should point out that all of these commands, you can kind of see that they do have function keys that you can press. I'm going to do step out because that takes me right over into the view. And now I can see all of the information that I wanted. And if I look, I'm still not in the view because it's stopped. So, I mean, I could do step over or step into, but I'm just going to do step out because then it should end up displaying my view. So it is pretty easy to add the breakpoints. And if you don't want to do a watch, you can get most of the information you need about your objects and variables in the locals window. To remove the breakpoints, it's just a matter of clicking. So you click to add, click to remove. You can disable them if you think you might want to use them again. If you have lots of breakpoints, then you may just want to go up to debug and disable all or delete all. And I want to show you one more window. So we've looked at autos, locals, and watch, and there is one more window you can use, and it is an intermediate window. And I do think this may be a little more valuable if you are kind of cycling through multiple rows, but I will show you how that works. And I think we'll add it in here. And we'll have to open up the window because it's not open by default. Now, because it is part of testing and debugging, you have to go into the debug menu, go into Windows, and you'll see if you, for whatever reason, you aren't getting your output window, your breakpoint windows, you can turn those on. You can turn on the watch window, autos and local, and here is intermediate. And for the intermediate, what you need to do, I have restarted the app here and I am in the breakpoint that's on the controller. And so if I wanted to see something that was in the stat model, you can see that the minute I key in stats and a dot, then I've got some of the properties here that I can view. And this is basically a snapshot. This is just uh, the current row or record that I am looking at or that it is accessing. And so let's go into stat.members dot name. Okay, so you can just kind of see what it's currently working on. Okay, and this is in the controller. And then I step out and then I'm in the view. Now I can be looking at a completely different set of data. And this intermediate window is not going to change. So it's just at that point in time, this is the value that was in that property. So you can kind of compare and contrast the different methods of displaying values and figure out what you like best.